Well, for those of you who don't know me, and it looks like quite a few of you might not today, wow. My name is Heather, and I'm the music director here at the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome to Sunday. Oh my gosh. Let's stand and let's sing our opening song, our celebration song today by our friend, your friend and mine, Daniel Nahmod. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Ow!
Good morning. My name is Kay Yules, and I am your trustee on duty today. On behalf of the Board of Directors, Reverend Donna, and the Board of Directors of Trustees, I'll get this right. Just read it, okay? We welcome you here to the Sonoran Desert for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are truly welcome here. Here you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you are meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action, in every day, in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. You'll find our declaration at the back of your program. Please join me now in reading them. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. Do we have any first-timers? Or we have a lot of first-timers. We have a lot of returning people who I don't know, and so I am encouraging you to stand up and introduce yourselves to us. And you go ahead.
My name is Suzanne, and I just moved here from Colorado.
Suzanne from Colorado, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Nice to have you here.
My name is Barbara, and I'm also from Colorado.
Oh, welcome, Barbara and Suzanne. And? Nice. Welcome. Returning. We have. Oh, welcome, Colette. Wow. And?
Dennis and Mary Ann, and we moved to Taos for 2 years, but decided we'd like to do that.
Oh, yeah. welcome to all of you, all of you. We hope that you join us at the end of the service for refreshments so we can get to know you and you can get to know us just a little bit better. I would like to thank all the people that made this service possible, and first of all, that's you sitting in those chairs. You know, if we didn't all come here, it just wouldn't be the same. How profound. And thank you to the ones who make sure that everything is set up for this gathering. Now, please direct your attention now to the announcements that are in your bulletin. And if you're watching us online, please visit cslaz.org for announcements and our events calendar.
The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you. And you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you. And you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
I'm going to light this candle right away, opening up this sacred service. And the candle reminds us of the light that we are. Within each one of us is a bright, shining light, and I can see you all shining back at me. It's wonderful. Welcome, everyone. So for our invocation today, let us settle into the sacred, that place within that holds respect and reverence for one another. The place that appreciates the sanctuary where we can all come together to be reminded of the magnificence that we are. The appreciation that we hold dear for each and every one here now, for all the preparation that has taken place to make welcome all who enter. We love and appreciate Reverend Donna and look forward to her inspirational message today. And together we say, and so it is. I forgot, what does the program say the topic is? The sacred? Sacred. Okay, good. Because I mean, sometimes, she changes it. How to find the sacred in the ordinary and therefore peace within yourself. Life, as long and arduous a journey as it can sometimes be, is made up of nothing more than a collection of moments. Sometimes those moments are filled with excitement, but more often than not, those moments are ordinary. Together, ordinary moments make up a lifetime. So consider the difference between loving those ordinary moments or simply suffering through them. This is the difference between having a life you cherish and one where you just survive. When we live from the sacred point of view, it is very important to love the everyday and especially the now. After all, this moment is all we have, right? The primary reason we should learn to find the sacred in the ordinary is so you can squeeze as much happiness out of your life as possible. When we wait for a special time to be happy, such as a vacation, a cruise, being the right dress size, finding the perfect relationship, we, we are missing out on the joy that exists right now. Realizing the sacred in the ordinary is quite simple. It happens when we cherish what we have and recognize how good things are. We appreciate everyday moments that make up a lifetime, and we find our joy. How can we do this? Well, if you find yourself in a place where you're not enjoying the day, welcome this feeling, and then as best you can, let it go. We can't let go of something we don't acknowledge. Letting it go makes space for joy and starts changing our negative habit by forming a new one. As you let go, make it a point to celebrate the ordinary moments in your life, as if each one was a special occasion. Get out the special plates, light the candles, sing a song. We tend to notice what changes instead of what stays the same. We can make an effort to change the mundane into the sacred simply by changing our habits of thought. Get up tomorrow and decide to only focus on the good, just and right with your life and even the world. You might be surprised how much good you can recognize. Allowing yourself to look for and acknowledge what you love and appreciate brings forth the emotion of joy, and I consider joy as sacred. Sacred does not have to mean unusual. It is a chosen viewpoint and one that will relieve stress and bring abundance into our view. I invite you to think about how your attitude and personality might change when you decide to view everything as sacred. How will your life be influenced? Where is the easiest place to start? And there's a way in which we as practitioners respect your sacredness by keeping everything that is shared with us as completely confidential. We want you to be confident that our session is only between us, creating a safe, sacred space in which you can pour out your soul, knowing you will not be judged. I'm fortunate to have a practitioner that I meet with on a regular basis. We open our souls to one another as we feel safe and secure. Each of us consider our bi-monthly sessions as sacred, as we leave with an uplifted belief that all is well. Remembering the sacredness of the divine and that we are also divine brings it all home. Today is a good day for a sacred day. Namaste. Thank you. I take the candle over to the prayer table to hold the high watch, and I'm awaiting your prayer request. Please come on over and fill a prayer request card out, because we also love to pray.
So this is a song that, since I already did Everything is Holy Now last week, it's interesting to find more pieces that are sacred, because to me music is a sacred process anyway. And so everything, I think I said in a podcast with a few practitioner friends up in Phoenix a couple of years ago, that every piece of music is an act of creativity, because if you make it with your hands, therefore you've made it with your heart. And so this is a song from 2021, according to my notes, and it's called You Are Perfect. You are a gift to this ordinary earth. You are a star who doesn't know their worth to let a light shine forth in the night, a sparkle in the dark. I'll see it for you, even when you don't, when they knock you off your throne. I'll be there to dust you off, straighten your crown. You're a treasure they can't see. How you identify or dress could never make me love you less. You are perfect, remarkable. You're a child of love. My heart is so full, and I'm grateful, so grateful that you're in my life. You are perfect in my eyes. You are amazing, even when you don't, when they knock you off your throne. I'll be there to dust you off, straighten your crown. You're a treasure they can't see. How you identify or dress could never make me love you less. How you are perfect, remarkable. You're a child of love. My heart is so full, and I'm grateful, so grateful that you're in my life. You're perfect in my eyes. Don't let them get you down. Don't let them under your skin. Celebrate all you are, all that you're becoming. You are perfect, remarkable. You're a child of love, and my heart is so full, and I'm grateful, so grateful you're in my life. You're perfect in my eyes. You are perfect in my eyes. Thank you. Namaste.
That was so pretty. Thank you. Good morning. And welcome to all the new people. Thank you for being here today. Well, yesterday was Veterans Day, and so I'd like to acknowledge if there are any veterans here today. Could you please stand so that we could acknowledge you? Thank you. Thank you for your service and for keeping us safe. Thank you so much. Our theme this month, and as Belinda mentioned, the field minister is not mine, is the mundane, the sacred, and the profane, oh my. And each week we're taking a piece of this topic to go a bit deeper, although they're all versions of the same thought, that everything, as Melinda said, everything is sacred as we shift our perception, our old beliefs and ideas. So today we're looking at what we generally think of when we refer to something sacred. It's defined as devoted to a religious ceremony, dedicated or set apart, highly valued and important. And one definition that I liked was deserving of awe. Deserving of awe. So you and I are learning to approach the sacred from a new angle. So instead of it being seen as something reserved for certain expressions, places, times, and events, we are coming to see that the sacred exists in all things and in all experiences. And our spiritual quest then is the ability to open our awareness to this reality and the sacredness that can be found in both the expected and the unexpected. Stephen and Andrea Levine, in their book Embracing the Beloved, use beloved as another word for sacred. They say the beloved is neither a person nor a place. It is an experience of deeper and deeper levels of being, and eventually beingness itself. The beloved isn't what we know, it's what we are. It isn't anything that we think. It is that in which thought floats. It is the heart of being where pure awareness and pure love are indistinguishable. So they tell us that to meet the beloved, we must let go of that which is unloved, judged, concocted from old mind clingings, and move into that sacred vastness that lies just beyond our acquired conditioning. So to the uninitiated, it feels like an exercise in futility. But to those of us who are seekers, and I believe we're all seekers because that's what our teaching calls, that there is an inner resonance to this idea, and that being able to be in the heart of pure awareness and pure love is not an ideal that cannot be reached, but it's real and actual, and at some point in our lives we have been exactly there, however fleeting that moment may have been. I remember years ago that a baby hummingbird fell out of a nest, and I picked it up and held it, this little tiny life, and it cocked its ear this way, and then it flew off. So it went to see its mom. It was okay. But that moment of a holding, I saw its tongue. You know, how many people have seen a hummingbird's tongue up close? You know, I mean, if that isn't sacred, I don't know what is. You know, that's where the divine touches the heart. It's that moment we call deserving of awe. And I think that's what our journey is all about. You know, I talk about Joseph Campbell a lot, and he calls this our monomyth. And that's that there is only one story, but it is told in as many ways as there are people. It's the story of the separation of ourselves from our true self, from our beloved, from that which is sacred, and the adventure of our life that ultimately brings us back to the oneness from which we have been separated. And he said something, I've talked about this before, but it bears repeating. He said, Joseph Campbell said, when he was asked about what is the meaning of life, he replied, life has no meaning. We bring meaning to it. And I really struggled with that, but then I remembered in my practitioner class, Michael Beckwith was one of our teachers, and he said, remember, love is a concept. It's a principle. It's an idea. And it only becomes real when we experience it in relationship. Love, a concept. I love you, a relationship. And that can be said of truth, of peace, of beauty, of all the things that we call God's attributes. They exist as a principle, and we give them meaning. And that brings meaning to the world around us, to ourselves, to God, Spirit, the Beloved. My mentor, Reverend Arthur Chang, called this the absolute falling into time. It is a conceptual coming into expression as you and as me. It's God being God as us. Or as Aurobindo says, we exist for the delight of God. That's one of Ernest Holmes' favorite sayings, is peppered throughout his writings. So you and I exist so that the infinite can know itself through us. So that makes us pretty sacred right there, doesn't it? So when we can begin to glimpse that everything that is holy, is sacred, has its roots in the infinite, then we begin to embrace the Beloved. A Course in Miracles says, when you meet anyone, remember it is a holy encounter. As you see him, you will see yourself. As you treat him, you will treat yourself. As you think of him, you will think of yourself. Never forget this, for in him you will find yourself or lose yourself. And Marianne Williamson, about this passage, says, relationships exist to hasten our walk with God. Everyone we meet will either be our crucifier or our savior, depending upon what we choose to be to them. Focusing on their guilt drives the nails of self-loathing more deeply into our own skin. Focusing on their innocence sets us free. And Stephen and Andrea Levine, in the book I mentioned, they often talk of mindfulness, forgiveness, and loving kindness as steps that help us see those holy encounters and allow us to be able to respond with an open heart. So I'm going to talk about those three. Through mindfulness, we become aware of our thoughts and actions in the present moment without judgment. You know, our minds are often so full of monkey chatter that lead us away from the sacredness of any experience or from the vast resources of our own inner wisdom and insight. When you are speaking to me and I am forming a response in my head, then I am not in the present moment. I am not listening to you. And no matter how profound my response might be, you will not feel heard, because at that deepest level, you weren't. Mindfulness is bringing all of me to the present moment. When I am listening to you, I'm listening with my entire being. There is no need to form a response, because when a response is necessary, it will come from that vast inner reservoir where two hearts are already connected. I love the explanation of enlightenment. You know, we all know it. Before enlightenment, I chopped wood and carried water. After enlightenment, I chopped wood and carried water. But the enlightenment is in the mindfulness of what I am doing in the present moment. It takes chopping wood and carrying water into the realm of the sacred. It takes doing dishes or scrubbing floors or pruning rose bushes into the realm of the sacred. And when we practice mindfulness, then forgiveness becomes a natural outpicturing. And we begin again with forgiving ourselves. And by seeing that we have many facets, some bright and beautiful and some not so bright and beautiful, and all of it makes up who we are. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, says, I have never yet known a person who completely came to forgive himself and to establish a right relationship with God, who did not at the same time forgive everybody else. Most of our criticisms of others comes from an unconscious rejection of the self. This was 100 years ago he was writing, pretty pertinent. When we can drop our own self-criticism, self-judgment, guilt, and remorse, and simply let the present moment be, then we can do that with others as well. And we can begin to see that the unpleasant action of another stems from a heart that is wounded, because we've seen our own wounded heart. The action of another that has hurt us has not stemmed from a desire to hurt us. It's a reaction to a deep wound. When we hurt others, it's not because we want to hurt them. It's because something within us needs to be healed. So forgiveness allows us to look beyond the painful experience and see that the need for love, the need to be loved, the feeling of being unloved, is a true cause behind that experience. And it becomes easy to bring love into the experience when we see beyond what we first see and see the God in me responding to the God in you. Forgiveness is not about condoning the action, cruelty, insensitivity, or unkindness. But it's opening our heart to the qualities of another who, like ourselves, may have led from the shadows of a wounded heart. Ernest Holmes states, whatever the mistakes of yesterday may have been, today is a new creation. Turning from the errors of the past and no longer carrying with us the sorrows and mistakes of yesterday, today we may now enter a new experience. But it's only when we forgive ourselves and everyone else that we may feel certain that the weight of condemnation is lifted from our consciousness. You've often heard me say that forgiveness is not letting somebody off the hook. It's taking the hook out of our own mouth. Or holding a grudge is like drinking poison and then waiting for the other person to fall over. We do this all the time. We're holding the grudge. We're the one that's going around in a bad mood. We're condemning everything. The other guy's fine. So we have to remember that this is about us and about how we experience life, how we experience the sacred. And when we walk with that mindfulness and when we deeply forgive ourselves and others, then the path of loving kindness becomes clear. The shaman Don Juan told Carlos Castaneda, there is no destination. There's only the path. Just be sure your path has a heart. I think that's all we need. Those 3 little sentences. So like forgiveness, loving kindness must begin with ourselves. There is no one out there that will criticize us or tear us down as badly as we do. When we begin to treat ourselves with loving kindness, then we open our heart to our own divinity, our own true nature. And once our heart is open, then the practice of loving kindness is absolutely effortless. Thanksgiving's around the corner, so it's a good time to start. See our family, our friends, through the eyes of the beloved, so that what used to irritate us in them no longer rouses our criticisms. And then we can expand our circle so that we respond in greater empathy and compassion with casual acquaintances and then with strangers on the street. We see the holy in every person. We see every encounter as holy. Ernest Holmes says, compassion and caring are the ties that bind us together in mutual understanding and in the unified attempt to uncover the divinity in each other. Compassion is the most gentle of all human virtues, for it is the outpouring of the divine givingness through all. So as we expand our circle of loving kindness, we see the beloved all around us. Jalaluddin Rumi says, out beyond the ideas of right doing and wrongdoing, there's a field. I will meet you there when the soul lies down in that grass the world is too full to talk about.
ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. I love the concept of A Course in Miracles that truly there is only one of us here. So as we begin to see the absolute truth of this statement, our compassion wells up within us, and the Namaste consciousness becomes a natural part of our lives. Stephen Levine says, eventually there is no I and no other, only love. I and other are seen as figments of the unsure mind, the mind scrambling to be real in the midst of the surreal. And in that reality, there is no one separate to relate to, but only the heart of the beloved to relate from. And we become the beloved bowing to itself. You know, there's a lot of stories about Nasruddin. He's a little guy. He's a bit of a sage and a bit of a rascal. And one day he found himself on the bow of a ferry boat with a pompous intellectual. So bloated with his own erudition, the scholar began to quiz and criticize Nasruddin's education. "Have you ever studied astronomy?" asked the professor. "I can't say that I have," answered Nasruddin. "Then you have wasted much of your life. By knowing the constellations, a skilled captain can navigate a boat around the entire globe." A few minutes later, the learned one asked, "Have you ever studied meteorology?" "No, I haven't," answered the sage. "Well, then you have wasted most of your life," the academician chided. "Capturing the wind can propel a sailing ship at astounding speeds." After a while, the fellow inquired, "Have you ever studied oceanography?" "Not at all." "Ah, what a waste of your time. Awareness of the currents helped many ancient peoples find food and shelter." A few minutes later, Nasruddin began to make his way toward the stem of the ship. On his way, he nonchalantly asked the scholar, "Have you ever studied swimming?" "Haven't had the time," the professor haughtily responded. "Then you have wasted all of your life. The ship is sinking." This was in I Had It All the Time by Alan Cohen. And he says, and I think this is really what we're doing and how important it is sooner or later, we reach the point where living the truth becomes more important than seeking it. Knowledge, techniques, and experiences pale in the face of the riches of the heart. Learning must give way to being. So when mindfulness, forgiveness, and loving kindness become habits, automatic responses to our holy encounters, then we are truly experiencing the sacred in everything. Our learning gives way to being, and everything deserves our awe. Thank you. Namaste.
For this song, if you care to sit, you may. If you care to stand, you may. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Turn to your neighbor. You are the face of God. There we go. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God. Your other neighbor. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part, really. You are the face of God. Ah.
Thank you. So it's time for our offering. And won't you join me in the offering affirmation on the left-hand side of your bulletin in the boldface type. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me abundantly, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, my dear. And thank you to each and every one of you who make this place run. You know? We've got a lot of good spirituality, but it also takes money. You know? Yes. Wish it didn't, but it does. And so we've been able to really not only keep our own heads afloat, but we are giving throughout the community in many, many, many ways. So I thank you for everything. 10% of what we take in on Sundays goes to outside resources, people that need our help. Good, nonprofit organizations that are doing good in the community. So you're a part of that. Okay, so let's take a moment to close this portion out in prayer, and then please join us for refreshments If you're new, please, or returning after a bit, please find some people to meet and let us get to know you at a deeper level. Thank you. So I know that there is one divine intelligence, and it animates through us as love, truth, beauty, joy, harmony, peace. And I simply give thanks for what we know, what we're learning, and as we take the actions, we can change the world, at least in our little corner of the garden. And knowing that as we do, it does go out from there. So I take this moment to give thanks again for our veterans who have kept us safe. I give thanks for this teaching that keeps us sacred. I give thanks for this spiritual community that keeps us whole and loving. And for all those places in the world where the appearance of love and peace is not easy to see. We just send that light and love of God, knowing that as we do, we are part of the resolution. So I release these words with love and thanksgiving into that law of mind to do its perfect work as we say together, and so it is. Thank you. And let's stand and sing Stand.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making